Alright, hello everyone. I hope you can hear me. My voice is quiet. That's just who I am. This is not going to be a very fun video to make. And it's not going to be super long either because I don't have enough room on my camera. And I don't have any notes written, so I'm just going to be talking. I felt the need to kind of make a statement or a disclaimer about my life as a whole and kind of what I'm about and in some ways like what my beliefs are. I have not shared my story, my actual story, anywhere publicly, especially here like on YouTube or anything like that. And I'm not going to be going into the gory details today because I can't do that. I don't feel ready for that, and to be honest, I don't feel safe. Even just thinking of what I'm talking about right now is making me feel shaky because I've been writing an album recently, which is probably the most vulnerable album I've ever written. I'm honestly scared about sharing some of the songs on it. I've had some really not good experiences throughout my life, and I think there's a lot of people who still don't really know this. I have been essentially betrayed by people who still claim to be religious, Christian. I don't want to get too specific about the denomination because, again, I don't feel safe or confident being that specific, but let's just say in that realm. I personally, I still believe in God. I consider my relationship with God to be very personal, because it is, and it's really not anybody's business. I'm not very pro-religion, to be completely honest, because of what I've been through. And I want to, in some ways I feel the need to also just say, like, to anyone out there who somehow thinks that if somebody calls themselves a Christian, if they go to church every week, if they confess their sins, whatever that means, or they are a parent and they have children and, to the outside, they present a certain way. That doesn't necessarily mean what you think it does. Just because of how somebody looks on the outside, they could be a preacher. They could be in ministry. They could say all the right things. They could talk about, I don't know, theology, whatever. I don't know how to say this. I don't know how to say this in a way that is going to convince anyone. None of that stuff means what you think it means. people lie. And unfortunately, a lot of people in Christian ministry are liars. I'm just going to say it, they are liars. And again, I'm not talking about just lying about little things here and there. I mean covering up things and, you know, in let's say things that might not be legal, things that might be, you know, and if we want to talk about the Bible, it would also be unbiblical if we want to get into that. If somebody seems to be a certain way, if they present themselves a certain way, I'm not saying to be scared of everyone, I'm not saying to be paranoid, but I think it is really dangerous to assume just because someone says, I'm a Christian, I go to church every week, or maybe even multiple times a week if that's something that you do in your practice. The people who have hurt me the most in my life claim to be these kind of people. The people who have quite literally shown me the opposite of God's love. The people who weren't there for me in my darkest moments in my life are these kind of people. Who are presenting themselves in a way that is completely dishonest. And again, I don't feel safe naming names. I don't feel safe yet, but I did want to say at least this much, because I think, I'm not sure if a lot of people actually understand like where I'm at mentally, emotionally, spiritually in my life right now. I feel very strongly about certain things. I just don't always feel like I can speak about them in a way that feels safe, or that I have enough confidence to do so, because I've been mistreated a lot by certain people in my life. I've been made to feel like I'm not good enough. I've been made to feel shame for things that I never should have felt shame for. I've dealt with false guilt since I was a child for things I didn't even do wrong because of ways I was treated by certain people. And I'm going to leave it there. I'm writing a lot of other stuff. I've been writing more of my memoirs, for anybody who even listens to my writing. I've been writing a lot of music about this, and when I say I'm not the same person I was last year, I mean that wholeheartedly, and there's no going back to the way I was continuing to live. So I'm nervous about sharing the art that I've been working on, that I've been creating. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. This is who I am. Take it or leave it. People have, like, you know, whether you want to keep following my journey or, you know, leave because this isn't what you signed up for, because I'm not just making music all the time and never talking about who I am, what I've been through, what my values are. If you don't want to stick around for that, that's fine. Go live your life. You don't need to be following me. You don't need to be subscribed. But I'm going to be the real me, and I'm going to be who I believe God created me to be, no matter what anyone else says. So if you have stuck around, thank you. And I hope that my story, as I am able to tell more of it, can really help some people. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave that and do with that what you will.